So in order for your body to let go of fat, you need to feed it. You need to let it know that it's going to have a constant supply of food so that it knows that fat that it is storing is not essential. And that's why doing that 1 meal a day thing, it makes you fatter because your body just stores everything it doesn't think is going to get fed again. And maybe it's holdover from the caveman days when the body didn't have food on a regular basis, but now it does, it just doesn't realize it. Well, if we give the body food on a regular basis, it's going to deem that fat on your body as non-essential. It will start using that fat for energy. So we have to trick it. And that's why we feed it in regular intervals throughout the day. And this kind of reminds me of one of my clients, and I put his example in my new book, Mindset Makeover, Mind Over Body. What his issue was that he wanted to lose weight. We went through, did a perfect diet for him, structured everything out as far as the meal times and the balanced meals, and he started losing weight. Everything was great. And then he kind of hit a plateau. And then all of a sudden that plateau stayed for too long. And I started asking him questions, and it turned out that he had the mindset that he had to eat less to lose weight. And even though he was actually successful at losing weight with more food, it's still stuck in his head, I have to eat less to lose weight. So when he hit that plateau, he defaulted to that. And he was down to eating like 1 meal, maybe 2 meals a day. And that had put a shutdown on his fat loss. So by reworking his mindset to say, I eat throughout the day to spur my metabolism to lose fat, then he started back on the program. He kept reinforcing that mantra to convince his subconscious mind that that's what he needs to do, and eventually lost the weight that he wanted to and still has it off today. So learn from his lesson so you don't have to go through the same thing. You need to eat on a regular schedule, and you need to eat balanced meals in order for your body to let go of its stored fat. You know that you need proper nutrition in order to lose fat, but you also need it to build that lean muscle tissue, and your goal should be to increase your lean muscle so that you have more muscle than fat, and that's going to overall speed up your metabolism so that you can burn calories while sitting on the couch. And that's everybody's dream, I know it, and I've achieved it. So you can watch this video over there or there, wherever it goes, that will show you exactly how I did that. But in the meantime, you still need to have balanced meals for nutrition. Now, the benefits of balanced meals, of course, is going to be fat loss, better energy, more steady energy levels. You're going to help your body function properly, and you're going to help your body recover and your muscles grow. So what is a balanced meal? Well, a balanced meal is some protein, carbs, and fats. Nothing is evil when it comes to nutrients. Carbs are important, fats are important. We know protein is important, but carbs and fats tend to get a bad rap. So let's not put them in that category because your body needs them, and it needs them for some very important reasons. Your body needs carbs for energy. It needs carbs to spare some of that protein so it can be used for your muscle building. And you need carbs not just for your body to function properly, but for your brain. If you don't have enough carbs, you're going to have brain fog, and your brain definitely is not even going to work right at all. And then let's talk about fats. Fats are not evil either. Fats are important for your skin, for your hair, for the way your body functions, for how your body distributes different things. And we can go into the science of that, but you know what, I've already done that in the video, which I will link to in the description, so you can check that out if you want to know that. In the meantime, building a balanced meal means also, what are your priorities? If your priorities are fat loss, then you're going to be looking at a meal that's going to have protein. Then we're going to be able to adjust the carbs based on how many calories you need or what type of program you're doing or how fast you want your weight loss. And then same thing with the fats. I mean, there's a certain ratio that you can use for each one. But the important thing is that you need some of all of them. Protein's always the hardest macronutrient to get in because it's a limited supply of them. And you want quality protein. So yes, your lean meats, eggs, fish, whey protein powder, those are your higher quality proteins. Can you get protein in some beans and on a vegan diet? Yes. Is it higher quality? No, it does not have all of the amino acids that the meats do. But there's other compromises if you're doing vegan. There's a whole nother chapter on that. We're not going to get into that. Protein being the hardest part to get, and knowing that you need to have usually about your body weight for protein. So let's just say on average for a female, 100 to 120 grams of protein. I know that might not be your body weight, but that's just a good general overall guess for most women. For men, it's going to be anywhere from 150 to 200. Now, again, you can calculate out your lean body mass and find that number to be precise, but just kind of giving some general basics here for you to go off of. Now, that is still higher than what the RDA recommends, which is about 75 grams of protein per day. And that's basically for somebody sitting on the couch doing nothing. Aim for at least 100, probably closer to 120 grams of protein a day. And when you start calculating that out, it's not all that easy to get. So a chicken breast is going to have about 25 to 30 grams of protein. But remember, now you need to have at least 3 of those. So starting to calculate things out, you'll have to say, okay, the chicken for lunch, fish for dinner, maybe some eggs for breakfast, some snacks thrown in. Yes, you could say cheese, but you know what? Cheese really isn't as much protein as it is fat. But you still need fats to keep your body in shape and to lose fat. So there is a place for that as well. Your balanced meals ultimately would have protein, carbs, and fats, whatever quantity you need for that protein, which you already know. The carbohydrates you can actually have earlier in the day if you're looking to lose weight faster, because you can use more of those calories. And then as you start to get towards the evening, you can have less carbs and a little more fat. So having more fat at night is actually going to help you as you sleep, because your body is still functioning, it's still burning and doing things, and it does need some nutrients. That whole business about don't eat after 5 or 6 o'clock is just BS. So don't even pay attention to that. You starve your body's going to use its muscle for energy, even if you're just sleeping. And it may not be a lot, but over time, it's going to lower your metabolism. So don't fall for that stuff.
Yay!
Now, we all know that green vegetables are good for us, but they're actually a hidden component of fat loss. So if you're looking at your balanced meals, don't think of carbs as just carbs by themselves. Think of carbs as starchy carbs and fibrous carbs. And I talk about that in my Macros Made Easy video, which you can find that link in the description as well. Your starchy carbs are going to be things like potatoes and rice, and your fibrous carbs are your dark green vegetables, broccoli, asparagus, and they are very important not only for the nutrients, but for how they slow the absorption of the carbohydrates, giving you a more steady energy. Ideally, every meal should have some dark green vegetables. Now, I know it's not always feasible, so let's say you get 2 or 3 meals a day with them, or maybe you snack on them. You can snack on green beans. You could snack on broccoli. You could snack on celery. Isn't really one of those fibrous vegetables, but still it's good for you and we'll take it. Now, how do you get fats in your diet? Well, protein tends to have some fat in it, so it depends on what type of protein you're using. If you're having chicken breast, well, not going to have that much fat. But if you're having red meat at night or having salmon, those are higher in fat. So that's where you can calculate that in. Now, what other fats can you use? Well, while you're cooking those foods, you can use some olive oil, you can use some actual butter. Measure it so that you know you're getting a healthy amount and factor it in. Now, the other thing when it comes to building balanced meals is planning ahead. Now, what I like to do is I'll make my chicken and I'll make broccoli, because I find that the carbs are easy to get. If I want to have a potato or some rice or whatever, I can cook that very quickly. Whereas protein, yeah, that takes a little bit longer, and I don't have time and I don't like to cook, so I just do it all at once. And this is a video of how I prep that. The great thing nowadays is you don't even have to cook. They have meal services that have the food already prepared. You already can pick from what type of calorie ratios you want, and they'll deliver it to you the same day. And there you go. I mean, that would be ideal. If you had the budget to afford that, I would definitely go for it. We did it for a while when my daughter was in school and she would get home really late from volleyball, so I had to make sure there's some good food ready for her, and it worked out really well. And they were really good meals too. Certainly saves you time and you have what you need for your goals. I'm not sponsored by any, and I don't have any affiliations with any of them, but I will put some links in the description to the ones that we've used. So nutrition is your larger portion of fat loss. You're not going to see any changes if you don't have proper nutrition. Building those balanced meals, those meals with protein, carbs, and fats. And if you're looking for fat loss, having your carbs a little earlier in the day, but still having food throughout the day. The most important factor about balanced meals and fat loss is your timing. You want to be eating something every 4 or 5 hours. So it usually comes out as breakfast snack, lunch snack, dinner snack. And they're not large portions. You want to have enough to keep your body going. So think of it as your car is maybe on half full, and then you give it a little bit more, you use some, you give it a little more, but it always kind of stays at half full. And that's kind of how you want your body, because if it starves, you're going to start using your muscle, your body's going to break down, and you're going to have low energy, you're going to have low blood sugar, and it's just not going to be a good situation for anyone. You need to eat on a regular schedule, and you need to eat balanced meals in order for your body to let go of its stored fat. Now, if you have a mindset like my client did, where you think you have to eat less to lose weight, then check out this next video, because it'll cover how to change your mindset to one that's going to work for you and help you reach your goals.